See, here's the thing. I don't care who you are, where you come from, or what kind of gamer you think you are. Right now, at this exact moment, is absolutely the greatest time in history to love video games. Period. Umbrella Fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your Houston Rockets. Oh wait, that's the wrong show. Woo!
Oh man,
I am just so amped to be here. How about you, Johnny? You amped to be here?
Hey man, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
Hell yeah. Welcome one and all to the Umbrella Fight podcast. This is, of course, the one and only podcast on the internet where it talks about video games and actually enjoys doing so. There are no other video game podcasts, despite what you may have heard in the newspapers. Right. We're so glad that you're here. Welcome, Regal. I saw your shout out there and the big let's go to you. I'm so glad to see you in chat, brother.
Let's go, Regal.
Well, unfortunately, today we are man down. Devin had some stuff to take care of, so it's going to be the dynamic duo today. Jonathan, how are you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful.
You love to
Happy
hear
to
it.
be here.
Hell yeah. Well, we don't have to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's go ahead and talk about video. Wait a minute. I'm wrong.
Oh, dude,
we have to do our collective quench.
Yeah, man. Hey, you almost got me too.
Listen, I want you to be hydrated, and I want my audience to be hydrated as well. Guys, go ahead and grab a cup or mug or glass, a tankard, chalice or stein, a canteen, jug or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. Tonight's liquid is agua or water. And we're going to go ahead and say it loud, say it proud. Umbrella Fight, our circle tight. We shine together in the night. With laughter loud and spirits in sync, raise up your glass, and now we drink.
We drink.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm dehydrated. That water was way too good.
Dude.
Oh, and you'll be proud of me, John. Guess what my water doesn't have in it? Static.
Hey, drinking real water. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Hey, speaking of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is random, but I was going to say this morning, you know, when something like falls, but it's almost the way that it falls is almost intentional. I don't know if that makes sense.
Define when something falls. What are we talking here?
So like,
are we talking like a book on a shelf?
This morning I parked and my jug here, trusty jug, completely just fell out of my car as I opened the door. Okay. And I don't know, just the way it felt malicious. It's like
the cup was making fun of you.
Yes, and because this is why it fell, and then it rolled, Nathan. Then it rolled. I had to jog over and grab it, and I don't know. I didn't like that. Felt like some physics one might see in a video game.
I feel like that sometimes as well when I'm walking around and I have anything, and I'm wearing pants with belt loops on them.
Ooh.
I don't know why, but I tend to get them caught on, those door handles that are like long and skinny? They're like L-shaped.
Yes.
I have gotten a belt buckle or a belt loop caught on those types of door handles more times than I can count. And I don't know how it's possible.
And it's crazy because since you never expect it, you get restrained. There is a moment of oh my gosh, what's happening? You have
that split second where you kind of lurch forward.
Yes.
And then you think, what the hell? Just for a brief second. And then all of a sudden, for me, my anger goes to about an 8.5. This is next level stupid. Why did this happen? There's no possible way.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm right there with you.
So yeah, I guess, I'm going to shame on your cup for treating you that way. That's
what a shame.
Owner mistreatment. Not cool, bro.
No, sir.
Well, now that we've done collectively quenched, let's go ahead and talk about some video games, shall we?
Yes.
And I think, John, now's the perfect time to just jump right in because I have to know
Dude.
How's that Half-Life journey going for you, bro?
Okay. So
Hey guys, editor Nathan here. Just so you know, John's mic cuts out for just a few moments here. Don't worry, we get it corrected pretty quickly. So sorry about that.
to be truthful, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about the one that we're looking right now? These ninja type things? Yeah. No, they're like crazy. Oh no. Oh no, John, we can't hear you.
Oh no.
Oh my God! This whole time. Hollow Regal, thank you so much. John, let's go
No.
back. Hey guys, let's do our collective quench. John, was your water good?
Yeah, my clef quench was good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah,
being heard?
I think they can hear you now. I can see it
Okay.
lighting up on my board. Guys, I'm so sorry about that. We had some major technical difficulties right before we started everything, and now we're playing a little bit of catch up. So let's so how's your Half-Life journey going,
Oh
John?
man, let me tell you, it's been incredible. So like
Yeah.
this new enemy type, these like ninja ladies. Like I look at that, the way it
No,
jumped.
they're so fast.
So I loaded in and I remember where I left off because I kind of left off at a point where I could kind of piece together where I was at. And I these ninja ladies though like actually jump scared me. And
Yeah,
what was
they'll get you.
frightening is that nothing up to this point in the game has moved like that before. And prior to the gameplay, I've had an easy time because it's just Doom, really, right?
Straight
But
up.
nothing in Doom moves like that. The way that those ladies moved, the way it jumped in the air and somersaulted, nothing moved like that. It surprised me, really. And
They're like death ninja ladies that are
no,
coming to get you.
literally. And so the name of this chapter title of the game that I'm on is Apprehension.
Apprehension. Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
so, I was a little curious as to what, that meant. And cuz I'm like, I'm Gordon Freeman. You know what I mean? You're not apprehending nothing around
Yep.
here. And as this plays out, you'll see, oh boy, was I wrong. And as far as the story goes, up to this point, I was very um interested to see where it would go because it kind of felt like old Gordon's been handling everything thrown at him pretty easily. We got monsters, we got face huggers,
We've
we
got
got
hostiles.
we got hostiles, we've got unforeseen consequences.
Ugh,
Like we've got face huggers, we've got interdimensional entities and cosmic eldritch horrors beyond comprehension. But
I love a good eldritch horror, man.
right. And Gordon has kind of taken all of that in stride, it feels like. He's been kind of handling his business.
I kind of imagine he works in these labs and is used to seeing some. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the
There
lights
it
out.
is. There it
There's
is.
the
And
there's the
when this
apprehension.
happened, I thought my game bugged out. Like I thought
Yep.
my game crashed.
Mm.
And I'm like, wait a minute, like what's happening?
And then
And
there
then
you get carried
apprehension.
off. You got apprehended. And I love this title because it's a dual meaning. Obviously, you're like, whoa, what is this new enemy? I have no idea what's going on. And so it instills a
Yes,
sense of what? Apprehension in you. And then you get apprehended.
literally,
It's a good dad joke of a title, I'd say.
literally. And so I want to let this gameplay play out a little bit because I want to tell you a thought I had at a point coming up here in my John
Oh,
gameplay.
oh, if you guys are seeing this, if you're on the audio podcast, I'm so sorry, but this footage is Half-Life John trying to platform out of this Star Wars
Compactor.
style garbage compactor. Is this the beginning of Forget Freeman?
So this is the thing. No. The beginning of this, the next chapter title after apprehension is questionable ethics.
Okay.
I believe so. So what I'm thinking here, Nathan, as soon as I saw that crowbar,
Oh yeah. I
is
can
this is
see
one of
like
the
anger
yes,
anger management here.
right. What I thought to myself when I picked up that crowbar was this is one of the best video games I've ever played.
No, really?
Yes. Yes. Like, and it happened organically because what has continued to surprise me about this game is that it continues to surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, gr- to be honest, residue processing is where I'm at right now. After this one is questionable ethics, but what has continued to surprise me about this game is that like, just when I think, you know, Valve is like, where do you go from here? Boom, apprehension,
A new thing.
a new thing, and it's so surprising because what I think about all the time is like, there was nothing to inspire this. There was nothing before Half-Life to that was an inspiration or a um what's the term, like, that saying like, oh, this thing walked so that this could run. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Th- unless, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that's the case for Half-Life. This is
Yeah.
a genuine original idea,
Yeah. So
genuine original game.
in the world of first person shooters, there was Doom and there was Wolfenstein and Catacomb 3D if you go far back enough. And they
Right.
were all, hey, look, bad things, shoot it. And here we have such a departure from that.
Right.
And I love that you use the term organic because that's what this game feels like to me is organic.
Yes, and
It,
and that's it's incredible. That's what
Mhm.
I keep finding myself feeling. Like anytime I do anything in this game, like even this little like parkour that I'm doing, running through these pipes, it's like what I'll tell myself is that like I've done this before in other games, and that game developer, that game studio probably got it from this game, if that makes sense.
Most
Like
likely. Yeah.
everything that I'm doing right now has been, I don't want to say copied, right, but has inspired some form of gaming mechanic or mission.
Yeah. You know that tons of developers played this and thought, oh my God, you can do that.
Yes, you can do
Now,
that.
what I have to point out, and actually, I bet if this podcast ever blows up and gets a much larger audience, I know that there are going to be some folks out there that say a couple of things regarding the notion of this being the first. Some people will argue that System Shock 2 was the first of this kind of game.
Whoa, really?
However, they basically both started development and ended development around the same time. They were both released in 1999. System Shock 2 happened to come out before Half-Life, but it didn't have the traction or what's the word I'm looking for here? System Shock 2 didn't have the direct accessibility. So when you started playing Half-Life, one of the first things that I noticed was, oh man, this moves fast. It's easy to
Yes,
understand what I'm doing. It's quick. I don't have to deal with an inventory. I don't have to level anything up. I just go.
you're just in.
So the flip side of the other side of this coin is System Shock 2, which I actually recommend you should play that one maybe next. It is a much slower paced game, and it's for a more specific audience. We'll call it a you know the term immersive sim.
Yes.
Yeah, so that System Shock 2 really pushed the immersive sim, excuse me, genre forward. I would classify this one as a more standard first person shooter by today's standards. System Shock 2 has a flavor to it that is its own beast. So for my money, this really since this was so much more popular and sold like gangbusters, And System Shock 2 did well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. System Shock 2 is amazing. But for the time and when this came out and what kind of splash this particular game made and how accessible it was for people, this is what I credit for all of the story-driven, organic first-person shooters. But I did want to throw that out there that we say the first. That's what I still say. But System Shock 2, I do want to give credit where credit is due, because System Shock 2 is actually the brainchild of Ken Levine. Do you know that name?
No.
What other game has shock in the name? What other game series has shock?
BioShock.
Correct, my friend. BioShock is a Ken Levine production as well. So, yeah, the man is a veritable genius of game design. And so is Gabe Newell and his team, obviously.
Right.
So really, it's not about who came first. It's about both of them landing and doing something completely different from one another. And they're both titans. This one just happens to be the one that I think of first when I think of the progenitor of this type of first-person narrative-driven game.
Hey, to quote J. Cole, sometimes they act like two legends cannot coexist.
Yep. And it's simply not true.
Yeah, no, thank you for that insight, though, because, that's one thing I was thinking about. I'll ponder on often as I'm playing it. Is that like the I wish I could. Obviously, you can't, right? But I wish I could go back to and just maybe like like Doctor Who level, how you just kind of spawn you in random places. Like, I wish I could see what it was like, what the time in gaming was like when this game came out.
Yeah.
Because there's so much history and context that I don't know, and it's been a lot of fun playing this game because I feel like I understand. I say this term lightly, not with any disrespect, but like,
Quick
I
pause.
understand. Yeah,
I have to correct myself. I'm sorry. System Shock 2 started development before Half-Life, but it released after Half-Life. I'm so sorry. I totally got that
no worries.
wrong. 1998 is the Half-Life. I thought that sounded funny. 99 is System Shock 2. They spent a little more time on SS2. But I wanted to, before everybody, gloms into the comments and is like, "Who? What the hell, man? You don't know your history."
You were wrong.
I don't. I'm terrible. I failed history in high school. I can't remember shit. So, nevertheless, they were being worked on at the same time. So again, still credit where credit's due. Amazing game. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I totally derailed your thought there.
No worries. But I was going to say, I wish I could go back to when this game released, because I understand kind of like a lot of the boomer takes, like the video game boomer takes, right? Because when you had, something that was genuinely like thought of organically as far as the story, right? Man, I can't imagine then like dealing with the things of today, right? Like live service games, just some of the different messes of gameage that are out and about today. Because I don't know, it feels like this was a purer time to be a gamer when this game came out.
100%.
I've had a lot of fun playing, because even like there'll be times where this game does stump me, where I'm just like, man, because there's no objective marker, there's no map, there's no anything. So I'm just like, dang, where do I go? And there's a level of fun in that I haven't experienced in a while, because so many of the games that I'm used to playing are very, here's a fat objective marker, go here, or like, here's a map, here's a thing, right? Here's a codex of all the different enemy types, all this, whatever, right? But it's like this game, I'm just playing the game. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. Even your favorite game, Cyberpunk, suffers from that sort of, oh, you got crushed. So, I wouldn't say suffers, but has those earmarks on it that
right
can be fatiguing. You know, it's
Sure
like,
can.
there's 17 markers on this map. I don't know which one's important. And honestly, because they're all on the map, they're all not important to me, which makes nothing in this game important.
Right.
And it can get that way. It depends on how many of those you've been playing lately, I suppose.
Yeah. No, definitely. So playing this game is a ton of fun because I pop in and out.
Ironically,
And
a breath of fresh air from 1998.
dude, literally, that's what I keep like, bro. This is a almost 30-year-old game. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
This is an almost 30-year-old game, Nathan, and
Yep.
we're talking about it.
Absolutely. I was 12. You made it. Yay. I was 12 when this came out, brother.
Wow.
Can you imagine 12-year-old me popping this in for the first time? Having
Man.
read about it in Game Informer and Game Pro
Informer.
and all those magazines that I used to subscribe to. I was just looking at these screenshots, not having any clue what this game was. Like, not only did I not have a clue what the game was, I didn't even have a concept about what this game was about to present to me.
How
It
could
didn't
you?
exist. You know?
That's what I keep thinking about. Is like
got
I got crushed
crushed.
again. That's what I kept thinking about. Is like, bro, there wasn't anything like this when it came out.
Yep.
When this game released, there wasn't anything to this level. Like, sure, you had Doom, sure, you had Wolfenstein, that first-person shooter kind of experience, but to this level of story is what has surprised me. Because, playing Doom, let's be real, the story doesn't matter all that much,
No,
right? It's
not even a
not
little bit.
yeah, not super imperative that you understand what's happening.
Here's
But, like
Doom. Are the guns cool? Are the demons cool? Can you
right,
kill them?
yes.
Done.
Yes, cool music, yes, good. Great
Absolutely.
game.
Move forward.
Great game. And, like, but in this game, it's like, I find myself, like, genuinely invested in the story. Like, when Gordon got captured there, I'm like, "Whoa. Whoa," like, "How'd they get Gordon?" You know what I mean?
For sure.
And even, like, if you go through this recording a little bit, when I think I'm about to get to it, but you get to this lab, and some of the things that you've been fighting up to this point and trying to survive against are being held in labs, in
Yep.
test tubes and kennels and in cages. And
Like,
it makes
what
you
the hell?
wonder, "Whoa, hang on." No, yes, exactly. And, Nathan, I sent you that picture because I see that alien just in a massive test tube.
For lack of being able to put that up on the screen, it is a giant vat it's a glass case
Massive.
with a massive alien inside of it. And you can tell it's definitely an alien creature. It's not some kind of weird abomination DNA mesh mash.
No,
It's
no, no, no.
alien for sure.
Yeah, it is alien for sure.
So then you have to ask yourself when you look at that stuff, all right, I accidentally, quote unquote, opened up a rift and let some aliens in. That's what it felt like in the beginning.
that's what it felt like in the beginning, right?
But
It was just like, man, this has been an unfortunate accident,
unforeseen
but
consequences.
unforeseen consequences. And then you get to this lab and questionable ethics come into play.
Yep.
And it makes you wonder, whoa, somebody's been lying. I don't know
Quite a
who.
bit.
I don't know what. But somebody has been lying, Nathan. And that
Maybe it was that
somebody
man in the tie.
maybe it was that man in the suit, huh? That's what I keep thinking.
Man, this you're still in. Is this questionable ethics or residue processing?
This is still residue processing.
Yeah,
If
this is a bunch
you
of like platforming and dodging of stuff.
Yeah, you can
I'm
skim
jump
through
forward.
them,
Here's
but there
questionable
we
and
wow, you
literally
literally
found.
got it right on the
Boom.
dot.
Yeah, on the money.
Okay, so this part was kind of funny because, like, I could hear that there was a bunch of, like, and I'm at 1 health. Like, if you look at my health,
Yep.
So like I was trying to play this as like carefully as possible because I didn't want to die. Look at that guy just looking at me, and then I fibbed my claymore thing. I don't know if you saw that. I just hit it against
I
the
did.
wall.
Yeah, that happens.
And then so at this point I was like, all right, I'm just gonna let my nuts
Ooh,
hang.
I
And
I can't believe that you didn't die just now.
no, literally, I was just like, all right, I'm just letting my nuts hang.
Let's go. It's like accidentally quick saving in Doom when you have like 3% health left. You're like, well,
Yes.
okay, let's just do this.
Gotta
Hollow
figure
Attorney
it
says
out.
you should check out Half-Life Alex, John. It's a VR game, but it's one of the best games I've ever played. There you have it. I mean,
Boom.
Half-Life is legend. And John, not that you didn't understand, but do you get it now? Do you get why people are like, where is Half-Life 3?
Yes.
Because
and like
Valve did this to people. They did this to them. They fundamentally
victims.
shifted their brains
we're
by this
victims.
game. And by the time you get done with Half-Life 2, you're going to be asking the exact same question. Where the F is Half-Life 3?
Dude, because like I mean, it's just crazy the story. Like I don't know if you noticed like a little bit back, but I noticed those were kennels where those aliens were being kept. And then I look at this thing and I was literally like, I literally stopped. Like this actually shocked me.
Nice.
Like
and what a good reveal. They have the look at this design too. You walk in this room and there is this big tank, but there's no glass for you to look into it until you round the corner and do it. And it's like bump, bump, bah.
There it is. And look at that thing.
They're brutal, dude. You're gonna run into these things if you haven't already.
Dude, so like I did something kind of stupid.
Okay.
After this. Like I'm kind of like I at this point, this is when I took the picture and I DM'd you on Discord and I was like, I have a lot of questions. And like this was that's why I was just idle there for so long. And like my brother walked in at this point and he was like, whoa, what is that? Oh, this here, Nathan, was another moment of like, whoa, hang on.
Questionable ethics.
Questionable ethics indeed. And so I come in here and I'm like, oh, sweet, some first aid. But then I see a button. Oh yeah, I forgot that thing ran. I ran away from it initially because I had no health. And then I went back to it. I was like, all right, it wants some smoke. And look at that, it shoots. It shoots.
Homing darts.
And I was just looking at it because I was like, that thing is crazy. And
okay,
so from here,
you're I want to ask if you're at a specific point, but I feel like if you were, you would be like, and dude, ... insert thing here. But I don't think you're quite there. And no, I'm not gonna and this is like sad almost.
Yes. This was surprising to me. This was surprising to me when I realized like, oh, they've just been like nuking stuff in here.
Yeah.
And so this has made me kind of question like, what is the Black Mesa facility? What is it really? Like at this point, I was thinking like, oh man, this is like some kind of black site or something. Like Gordon Freeman was never supposed to see this side of the facility.
Yeah,
surely
100%. And you can tell from all the tech that they have in there that, and even just from riding the tram, the way that the lady's talking, tram inbound from level 3 dormitories to, just like, it's a very clear, hey, you're going to be going to a place and you are not allowed to deviate probably at all. There's some really high level clearance things. There's your homing darts.
Look at that.
They're so annoying.
The physics surprised me. I was like, whoa. Like that's impressive.
This is just the Quake engine. I say just, it's a modified version of it, but still it's, for lack of a better word, it's just the Quake engine. And I saw you celebrate. I love how animated your your play style is.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have fun. I'm Gordon, right? Like,
100%. You're not going to
but
say any words, so you got to wiggle the mouse around.
right, gotta teabag a little bit. But yeah, I had to do this again. I felt bad doing it a second time. But
Yeah.
if you didn't notice, it was because the soldier that I killed had like dropped a grenade as I killed him, so it just fell at
Yeah,
his feet.
you didn't
And
see
I
him
assumed it
do
was
that.
loot. I assumed it was ammo, so I didn't question it.
Ooh. Yeah, so it's funny that I'll go ahead and switch off. The footage is almost over there. Um, it's funny that you ran into Barney again.
I did
Well,
run into
that's
Barney.
yeah, I love Barney.
I
Hey,
was
Gordon,
glad to
how you
see
doing,
Barney
Gordon?
alive. I was glad to see he's doing all right.
You know what I love about Half-Life is that everything that you do in this game is uh context. It's all context
Yes,
storytelling. There are
yes.
no moments where they're like, all right, Gordon, I'm gonna tell
There's
you
no
a story. Like,
cutscene.
oh
There's
fuck,
no
I've got 3
anything.
minutes to sit here and listen to Barney yammer for 3 minutes.
Nope.
None of that. It's all and you know what's funny? Up to this point, I mean, I had sort of a general notion of the story, but even watching you play through this again and getting to the section called questionable ethics, like right now I'm having epiphanies about the story because I'm getting to
Wow.
relive it through your eyes, like, oh, they're experimenting on these things. I had noticed that years ago, but it had left my mind, and I'm just surfacing these memories again, like, oh, no wonder these aliens are pissed off at us. I get it. Because clearly this place has been going into their territory and bringing things back, perhaps. Were those captured, or did they leak in and they just isolated them? Because it looks like capture to me, you know?
Yeah, and that's really, I mean, I don't know how else you could explain it, because you look at it from the perspective of, like, if those were humans, you know what I mean? Like, if
We'd be storming the beaches.
right, hey, we'd be in there ready to kill. So it's like, I'm interested to see how this plays out, because
Mm.
man, like where could this story go from here?
I have a feeling you're gonna have to be looking up some videos after you're done with the game, because there are multiple interpretations to the ending, which is both a
Um,
good thing and a bad thing, and it bridges over to Half-Life 2 pretty good, I'd say. Although Half-Life 2 feels more bespoke than Half-Life, not than Half-Life 1. It feels like a bespoke game on its own.
what does
If you
that
have
mean?
bespoke is sort of like stands alone.
Mm,
So the way Half-Life 2 plays out is very much you start in a location and you're picking up context again about the situation of City 17, and you're going through, trials and tribulations, just like Gordon is wont to do. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces in Half-Life 2, which is great. I'm so glad you're getting this foundation of the first game. Man, oh,
dude, it's just,
dude.
it's again, it's just so surprising, like a happy surprise that I'm like, this game is peak,
It's so peak.
like it holds up, like I never had like a PC or anything when I was younger, so it's like that's genuinely the oldest video game I've ever played, and I'm still
Hell yeah.
like, hey, this is peak. Like the first ever boomer shooter I played was Doom 2016.
Oh man, we gotta get you on the 1993 Doom. We gotta get you some Doom too.
Dude, yeah, I played like a little bit of Doom 3, but that's
Oof.
newer than Half-Life,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Doom 3,
Um,
I think, came out around 2000 something. Hold on, Jamie, look that shit up.
hey Jamie.
Let's see. Doom 3. Oh, wow. Doom 3 sold 3.5 million copies was the first thing. Oh, 05 is when that came out.
Mm,
2005. I was going to community college at that point. I have
wow,
significant qualms with Doom 3. A lot of people love it. I don't.
really? I honestly don't really remember much from it. I played it so long ago.
So Doom
Um,
3, in the world of Doom, 2016 is like a perfect balance of story, quote unquote, because there is some to be had.
yeah.
There's very small cutscenes in 2016. But the premise of Doom 3 is very much way more story driven. Like the first half of Doom 3 is almost a horror, a survival horror. Because you're at this facility and there's military dudes like, "Yeah, we got to get this thing all strapped up and come on, soldier." And then they move you into these rooms and some shit goes wrong and you see all of your friends die basically on camera while you're watching the security cams. And then you're kind of moving slowly through these areas that are much darker. You have a flashlight that you can only use in lieu of a weapon, so you don't actually get to use a weapon and a flashlight at the same time, which was unique for the time. But also, the name Doom says things. You know, when you have the name Doom on something, you expect X, Y, and Z. And
Yep.
it has that, but way later in the game, like about halfway through, you get your plasma rifle, and they have like a weird sort of gravity gun where you can take projectiles from enemies and fling them back at them and stuff. It's just such a unique, like different take on Doom.
Is Doom 3 the Dark Souls 2 of Doom? Is it the stepchild?
That is a very appropriate. No, I would say, ooh, that's a tough call, man. Doom 3 is probably the Dark Souls 2, and I would say Doom 64 is like the Kingsfield 5 of Doom. If that makes any sense. Doom 64 is way weird. It has a much darker tone, but also has that, run and gun type shooty stuff. They brought that back. So it's a step in the right direction, but also the level design in Doom 64 is subpar, I would say, overall.
If I'm not mistaken, that's just when they made it 64-bit. Is that correct?
Kind of. So Midway, I believe, was the company that did that, the Mortal Kombat people. And or at least at the time, they had some hand in creating Doom 64. There was a lot of concessions made. Some enemies from Doom 2 were removed due to memory constraints, but
Whoa.
yeah, you didn't get your revenants. The revenant is such a there's
They
no
took out the
archviles.
Revenant?
Yeah, the revenant and the archvile were removed from the Doom 64 version,
Whoa, I feel like
and
that's massive.
it is massive. Honestly, I would have had a bad time playing Doom 64 if Archviles had been a thing. Revenants I can deal with. I'm okay with a Revenant. I have come to be able to control them in a way because they take some time for you to really get used to in
Yeah, they're weird.
a Doom 2 context. Boy howdy, they're frustrating. But I think if the Archvile had been in the Doom 64 roster, that game would have pissed me off like a lot. Because those effing, oh man, Archviles are so frustrating, especially when you have like a flood of enemies come out of a thing, and then they put Archviles at the back of that flood.
Pisses me off, dude.
Oh, it's so annoying, and you have to fight through all of that,
Dude.
and hope that they don't spot you and zap you from wherever they are. It's so annoying.
I've always just bum rushed them.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do. You got to get your BFG out and just like fire a bunch of green blobs at them. Yeah.
Hey, you
Get
made
rid
a
of. They
mistake
are like
today.
it in the hierarchy of things that need to die first. The Archvile is at the extreme top.
Very top.
Right
Very
under
top.
that is the hit scanner. All three of the hit scanners, shotgun, pistol, and the chain gunners. Those have to go immediately. And then I would probably go down to the what are they called? Pain Elemental. They spawn lost souls. You can actually put hit scanners and pain elementals kind of neck and neck. It depends on what you're doing.
Dude, I used to hate Hell Knights with like such a passion.
Oh, they're basically big imps. Three blasts from a double barreled, you're good to go.
Dude, but like it would make me mad because in Doom 2016 they would do
they're different in 2016. I'm thinking Doom 2 terms.
No, dude. Like it's like they had this ground like AoE slam
Yep, I
thing
remember that.
that like sometimes it's like it would just get you. And it would just make me mad because it almost made you it almost stunned you a little bit. Like
You hear that alarm
your
sound? The
character would like yeah, and your character would like jump back a little bit. And it just make me mad. It just makes
they're
me mad.
much tougher in 2016. The Hell Knights are.
No, huge. And speaking of Doom, I was actually watching some of your Doom 2 gameplay.
Thanks,
And
man. I appreciate that.
yeah, no, of course. But like
Which ones were you watching?
I was watching your most recent one where you're going through Simulacrum and like
Oof, Heartless.
your dude,
What a freaking
dude,
awesome level.
dude. Yes, like I put it back up just because I wanted to just see it again. And like one, it's crazy that level design, you're in kind of like a pit, essentially. But it was really cool seeing just seeing you fight, like just battle that. You know what I mean?
It
It
was
was really like it was really
something
fun to
else.
watch.
I wonder if I can even put that up on screen. We have a YouTube video of that for sure. But I do want to actually show this off on our podcast here. Oh yeah, I do have it. Let's see. Let's play video. Click OK. There we go. Sweet. Yeah. So if I transition over to that right there, there we go. First off, this level's skybox is phenomenal.
Mm.
Here, let me add this. Let me do the source projector for you here. 1 second, folks. We'll get some. I'm being polite to my co-host here, so he can actually see what the heck's going on. Stop that. Share that. Yep. Window. There's our projector. There it is. Anyway, yeah. So this skybox in the background with the dancing tornadoes.
Yep.
Oh my God. But then you've got this like just like if you go scrub back to the beginning real quick. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, this intro here, you are required to shoot that switch right out of the gate, and that alerts everything. And on the you've got 3 revenants on these pedestals here, so I gotta ice those first. By the way, I don't take damage in this intro here. It was a miracle. And you've got shells over here. There's another box of shells right around this corner. I've got a mancubus here. I've got a mancubus on the other side of this pillar, and then I've got a bunch of hell knights in the background over there. And then there's the cyber demon up on the pedestal that is able to rocket me from pretty much wherever I am outside of this zone right here. But I think the section that you're talking about is near the end, correct?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, there it is. There's our pit. Well, there's this fight here, which was extra crazy.
Dude, yeah, like there was a point where like a horde of Caco demons just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's this guy right here. Ooh, yep, let's scrub it on over. Yep, there it is. So if you look, the cacodemons are in the upper left and the upper right, and some meatballs as well. Those are lovingly, by the way, I've noticed on the Doom videos that I see, they're lovingly referred to as tomatoes and meatballs.
That's
cracks me up. So then there's 4 spider masterminds. Those are the final bosses of Doom episode 3. And then you've got your cyber demons up there. And what's fun about this fight, I had so much fun with this, because if you can bait these cyber demons out to shoot the Hell Knights aren't going to pay attention to you. They're targeting the cyber demons. And so what I was trying to do is get them to just fire some rockets into these crowds. See, they wake up and then they start getting pissed off at the cybes up there. And you just kind of let everybody fight for a little while without nobody's paying attention to me, like even a little bit. So I can walk around and pick up shells and rockets. But yeah, once this fight goes off, it freaking goes off. Everybody moves in, and this would be what you would call a slaughter fight. Slaughter fights are typically in excess of 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 1,500 enemies. and it's literally just ammo on the ground, create your space, and slaughter everything you see. And it's so much fun when a slaughter fight is not overly difficult, but still presents a challenge. And this one is one of the best slaughter fights I've ever played. I think it's freaking brilliant, specifically from the standpoint of getting the cyber demons to interact with the Hell Knights. I feel like that was intentional. I don't think I could do this coming into the fight and immediately, waking everything up.
Dude,
I think it
'cause,
would be too much.
the amount of just like volume of enemies is crazy.
Yeah, and I think I'm about to, in this footage here, I think I'm about to set everybody off. But the volume of the cacodemons, the tomatoes and meatballs, is massive. There's so many of them, and you really have to target them. But also, yeah, there you go. I woke them up. Here they are. They all just kind of start surrounding you. And if you know anything about the Doom 2 engine, meatballs and tomatoes will block your movement no matter what their height is, because remember, this game is built on a 2D plane. And so you really have to, the cloud of cacodemons is extra dangerous because they can trap you no matter what height they are. And then that's it. You're smoked. But yeah, this is a super fun fight to play. I had a little bit of trouble when you hit that button right there that I just walked by. It releases, this door on the end opens up, and a bunch of revenants and archviles show up. So it gets even more hairy by the time everything is said and done. And if we could scrub to the end here, here's me shooting shooting this giant mastermind, which is a hit scanner, by the way. So if it sees me and starts doing a thing, I'm effing toast. I have 8 health by the time I was done with this fight.
Wow.
And for a spider mastermind, that's 2 hits. That's it. You're done.
Done.
So I scraped by the skin of my teeth. And the first time I practiced this level before I recorded this footage. And the first time I did that, I think I was in the same position. I think I had maybe 1 health left, and I was trying not to get killed by this spider. Yeah, that's sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there.
No, I mean,
talking about Doom.
I was interested.
Yeah, man. Slaughter fights are awesome. I like slaughter fights when they're designed well. There is actually 2 levels behind that. One called something of Temple, not Temple of the Dying Sun. That one's sick, actually.
I'm
trying to record Temple of the Dying Sun right now, but it's extremely difficult. Something of the Last Refuge. Anyway, just Google it. Simulacrum map 7. That particular map sucks. I don't like it. It's a box of enemies, nothing creative about it. There's no interesting shapes. It's literally even the opening of that map pisses me off, because you get a double-barreled shotgun, some ammo, and armor, and as soon as you wake up this big pile of imps, 2 archviles come from either side into this little tiny tunnel that you're in. So you have and you have your rocket launcher. They do give you a rocket launcher. So you have a precious few seconds to ice both of those archviles. You're going to probably get zapped by one of them. So the opening feels very RNG, which in Doom is not good. RNG is never good in Doom. If I have to rely on RNG to finish a fight, I consider that fight bad. It's not fun. I think a good Doom fight relies purely on skill. If you can hinge everything on whether or not I'm good at the game, then you've got yourself a good fight. It doesn't even need to be hitless all the time, because you can pile up the hit scanners and give me a chain gun and just say, have at. I'm happy as a clam,
Go for it.
But the other type of fight that's really fun is a big arena style fight. Something that I've been seeing, there's a particular map that I like called Lullaby. I have yet to finish it. It's super duper long, but there is a section that has, I would say, like 4 or 5 rooms, and they're all interconnected with they're not tiny tunnels or anything. They're big archways, but you can tell there's bespoke rooms. There's that word again. And within each of these rooms, there is a set of enemies that will cause you trouble even from other rooms. So you have to be mindful of what's in each room and where it's going and where it's at. And you can kind of circle around. That's basically the slaughter strategy. If you can get all of the enemies clumped up in an area, and then you have room to circle around them, the joke in the Doom community is circle strafe to win. And it's absolutely true. If you've got enough rockets
Circle strafe
and
to win.
enough room, just circle strafe to win. It's fine.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. But, bringing that back around to Half-Life, that sort of boomer shooter, the fork in the road that Half-Life created was so out of left field for those who loved boomer shooters. And you know what I love is that Half-Life didn't shift first-person shooters forever, always. It created a whole new branch on the tree. That's all it did, because the boomer shooter, let me tell you, is alive and well today.
100%.
Mega alive and well. There's one that came out not last year called Cultic. Cultic is so awesome.
Yes, I know what
you
you're
know
talking
that
about.
one. Oh, sick.
Yes.
Yeah, you get like dynamite and you can light it and throw it at enemies. Like, it's straight up a boomer shooter, but it has a story. You're literally infiltrating a cult, and these like psychotic cult members are coming to kill you, so you get to kill them back. And man, the boomer shooter is alive and well. Indie devs love to make boomer shooters these days.
No, they sure
And
do.
I'm freaking here for it, man. I love a boomer shooter.
Dude, like something about I remember playing Doom 2016 for the first time. It's just cool, bro. I don't know, it just feels good. Like, and even in Half-Life, like the movement is so smooth. Like, it's almost like one thing that I've always said is that like playing Doom, it's almost like playing like an aim trainer or something, like, because the way that you're moving and the way that, hey, look at your crosshair, buddy, like it matters, and it translates well
100%.
to an FPS like multiplayer game like COD or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like, and then you had Doom Eternal where the movement got like even crazier in that you had a dash
on that.
and you had a double jump dash thing that you could do. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's a genre that I'm glad didn't die.
Me
I'm
too,
glad,
man.
like, it's still around, and like that's coming from the perspective of like somebody that I feel like boomer shooters have been, if not already, close to being perfected already. Like, I'm glad to see that, like, it's still around, because going from like Half-Life, this was like peak boomer shooter, right? Aside from the original Doom, is like, man, 30 years later, and this kind of game is still around, and it can still be around for a reason, because people like it. It works.
Yep. The formula is not that hard. You got to have good, it's got to feel good, it's got to play good, it's got to move quick, and then you have to just design some good levels around it. That's really, it's not complicated. I feel like a lot of developers today are chasing complication and complexity when they don't need to. It's not necessary. That said, I'm not saying there is no place for complexity. There absolutely is. But if you really think about what am I trying to accomplish?
Right.
I feel like that question is not asked enough in modern development. What am I trying to accomplish with this? What am I trying to give to my player through whatever it is I'm designing? And that filters through all departments as a developer, large and small, all sectors of a video game. What am I delivering to my player in crafting the most detailed player character that anyone has ever seen?
Yep.
I mean, maybe something, maybe nothing. It depends on the context of the game and how important it is, which is why I bring it back all the way to the thing we said on episode. I think this might be an episode 1 or 0 thing that we said. Graphics don't really matter all that much, guys.
Sure
Sorry,
don't.
devs. I appreciate all the effort you put into Ghost of Yote, and it looks really pretty, but I don't want to sit there cooking a fish. That's just not what I want to do. I don't give a shit. I want to slice fools up with a katana. That's what you gave me with Tsushima. Why am I cooking
Dude.
fish now? What's going on? Significant qualms with the way that everything is being put into games right now. It's just not.
Man, Red Dead. I feel like Red Dead, bro. I don't know. I feel like, man,
You're playing
you
a
know
good
what?
devil's advocate, Jai, just bringing that up.
No, because okay, I say that not to play devil's advocate, but I saw, and I think I brought this take up on the podcast like once before,
Mhm.
but I saw like a tweet this forever ago, but it was something along the lines of like Red Dead Redemption 2, um, something along the lines of like it's actually bad for the gaming industry, not
Oh
because of
no.
not because of Red Dead itself, but because of the new I don't want to say what's the term, like the new bar that games will need to hit if they want that level of recognition. And it was
Yeah.
in all right, I don't necessarily 100% agree with that take, but I do understand where a game developer, a huge studio will go, huh, Red Dead was loved and famed because of all of the stuff you could do in Red Dead and how detail orientated it is. Let us pack now everything we can into a game.
But
I don't know
that
if that makes
is
sense.
no, it totally does. I hear that take. I vehemently disagree with that take, as a matter of fact. Here's why. Because as a fundamental, let's quick pause. Actually, Regal has a great point. Devs need to work on optimizing their games more than worrying about graphics.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There is
Bro.
that is
Please put
big
that up
clap.
on a wall. Put it up on
Yes,
a
put that
wall.
big plaque. Optimize your shit. That's what it
Make
should
it
say.
make it work
I
first.
need one of those, those like old school cross stitch things where it's like a really like I need a house and then I need the Doom guy cross stitched into it, and then in nice home sweet home letters I need it to say optimize your shit. You
Instead of
know,
live, laugh, love, optimize your
optimize
game.
your shit, optimize your game, guys. If I am playing your game, I don't care how good your game is. If it's stuttering, I'm putting it down. I don't have time for 20 frames a second.
No,
Nobody
it's it,
does.
nor the money for it. Not in this economy. If you're gonna want
Nope.
me to pay,
Yeah.
ooh,
Look, if you're asking me to pay $70 for a game, which is already way too high, and I can go over to Steam and for $9.99 play Dusk, or for $14.99 play Balatro, or for $19.99 play Slay the Spire 2, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm just not going to play your fucking game. I'm just not going to. That's you didn't do it right. Regal says Battlefield 1 ran better and looks better than most games out today because those devs actually understood that you have to optimize your games rather than just relying on the engine to do the heavy lifting for them. That's how you get a stuttery mess. Absolutely.
yes,
It's about understanding your engine and making it work for you, not muscling through the
right.
engine.
Not making it do stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You shouldn't bend the engine to your will. You
Yeah.
shouldn't do that.
Coming back to what you said about Red Dead, I had a thought. That take on Red Dead setting a certain bar and then other devs going, "Oh, we have to meet that bar because of all the things you can do in Red Dead." I've believe that is a fundamental misunderstanding of why people love Red Dead.
100%. Because
People
nobody asked for Red Dead.
Nobody asked for Red Dead. Red Dead just became a thing. Here's why people love Red Dead. And John, correct me if I'm wrong. People love Red Dead because they love Arthur Morgan. They
Yes.
love who he is and how he is written and what the story presents Arthur Morgan doing in the game. Not that he can go and make a food at a campfire. They don't care that you. If that's in there, great. I'm wowed by that. But I love that you can be Arthur Morgan. I love who that character actually became through the telling of the story beats in Red Dead 2. Every single mission in Red Dead 2 that I played, and I admittedly only got through about half of the game, every single story was like, oh, this is a great story. I am entertained. None of it felt like wasted space.
No.
So
None of it.
what they look at is they look at this Van Gogh painting of a sorry, Van Gogh for those art nuts out there. They look at this painting and say, "Oh, it's because he used these colors in this painting."
No.
You're 20% of the way there. You're missing the 80%, which is the feeling that this painting evokes. Red Dead 2 evokes a feeling because of how it is crafted at a story level, at a base level. And so for these devs to look at it and go, oh, we got to put cattle ranching in our game because cattle ranching was in a game that sold millions of copies. Wrong. Nobody is looking for that.
Yes. And it's almost like, I don't know if random pivot, but it'll make sense.
Nope. Take it away.
You ever been to like a comedy show or like just seen? Okay. So you know how when you see a comedy or you see an act or something like that, you can kind of tell when the comic is being performative. Like you can tell when like there's a level of they are intentionally trying to do something or draw a certain reaction, right? And then there's a big difference in seeing a comic, for example, like Dave Chappelle, that is just being him on stage. So I feel like what I see a lot in gaming developers now is they're intentionally trying to just make the best game ever, to make the game that's going to sell the most copies, to make the thing that's going to be next, right? And it's performative in a way because, like you said, they're seeing, oh, he used these colors in this specific order, and that's you're missing it. You can't tell me that in the Rockstar meetings when they were developing Red Dead that they weren't overly concerned. And I know this because if you see any interviews with the voice actors that played Arthur Morgan, John Marston, even Dutch Vanderlyn, they were in there rehearsing line after line after line because what mattered most was the way that that character was going to turn out. That's what the focus of Red Dead was, were these characters and how their story bridged and or split depending on your decisions as a player.
Nailed
And
it.
it's like you're so focused on making a game that you're missing the entire point, which is to tell a story of some kind. And if you're going to do that, how many stories are there in this world that we are? The only thing missing is authenticity. I can find a story about anything. I can go through Steam and find a story about whatever. But it's a lot harder for me to go through Steam and find an authentic story that makes me feel. And that's what Red Dead was able to do for myself and so many other people. And so you have this conundrum, right, in gaming developers today. And when I say developers, I more so mean studios, not the developers themselves.
Sure.
You're going after the colors and the types of paintbrush used versus the inspiration of why the painting was ever created. And it was to convey something. And it's lost. It's lost. And you know, you
ultimately
have
hollow.
like it's hollow. Yes, that's a perfect point. That's a good word. Because I mean, that's how you get games like, I don't know, name me a most recent game that came out that immediately died less than a month out.
Days Gone.
Sure. Right. And it's like, hey, it's literally gone now. In the name.
Yeah.
Because nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
They didn't take the time to put the effort. They didn't take the time to build something meaningful. They wanted they were chasing a pastiche
Yes.
and nothing more.
And what makes me mad is you can have that in any game, regardless of the medium of the game. One example that
Take a look at Doki Doki Literature Club. It's a freaking dating simulator that turns
yes,
chaos and addresses things like suicide, friendship, insanity, mental health.
yes,
And as a freaking dating simulator type game, it
like
literally doesn't matter what type of game it is. You're
yes,
absolutely on the money.
right. And you look at a game like, for example, one that I bring up all the time is Before Your Eyes.
Yep.
That is a sub 8-hour game. In this day and age, that's nothing. And that game made me weep. That game made me weep.
Yep.
And like that wasn't a huge studio, that wasn't some massive thing. It was somebody that wanted to show you something, and
Yeah.
they did. And unfortunately, anytime that there's money to be made, creativity dies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just the name of the game that we live in. You have those like random glimpses of sunshine and like a rock star. You know what I mean? That they're raking in billions of dollars, right? And what that has enabled them to do is create characters at a level that, quite frankly, no other gaming studio can really match, right?
Not at
You
that
can
level.
not at that. You can maybe say Sony with like God of War and Death Stranding, Norman Reedus. You can maybe say that. I would honestly say God of War or Kratos is a very good character that people have
Well,
held on to. I think they've done a good job with Kratos.
okay, I'll give you that. I have some problems with the way they have been handling Kratos lately, but that's a
You
different
see
story.
you
That's a
see a
different story. But
character arc
I
at the
I
very
do
least.
see a character arc.
Right.
I wish things maybe had gone differently, but that's actually not the point.
Right.
You're still correct. They are
Yes.
doing their best to handle it a specific way, and the intention is clear. And clearly, people love God of War, the reboot, whatever you want to call that. And man, such care needs to be put into games on a level for it to evoke. I guess the only word I can hear is care from the player. You have to
Right.
make me give a shit,
Yeah, at
and
least a little bit.
Rockstar is a great example. Kojima, Sony is
Hideo.
really just like I don't know what they are, but Hideo Kojima, Hidetaka Miyazaki, the Dark Souls man,
Yes. Yes.
knows what he
Tarnished.
has a vision and executes it with such like, I don't care what anybody else is saying around me. I know what I want to get out of this game. And maybe that's part of the puzzle too. Maybe the studios that are looking to create the next big thing, they're looking at everybody else outside going, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Is this what you want me to do?
Yeah.
Whereas you have Kojima that's like, I love movies and I'm going to make this game.
Dude, but you think Kojima cares
No,
what, like, you think he's concerned with like what people want him to do in his game? You know what I
he made a
mean?
game
Like,
where you can throw piss grenades. Okay.
dude,
He literally does not care what you
like
think.
you can literally, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, in Death Stranding, when you piss, it creates a mushroom, and like other people will see the mushroom in like their game.
Yeah.
Am I
So
mistaken?
no, I that is accurate. There is a lot of oh god, Death Stranding is such a unique video game. There's literally nothing else like Death Stranding. Uh if you haven't played Death Stranding, John, have you played any Death Stranding?
I've never touched it.
I think it's right up your alley.
Should I go for the first one or just play the new one?
do the first one for sure. It's
Okay.
super duper good. It's not action intensive. It's very much a walking simulator ish kind of thing. But you play Norman Reedus. You play a courier in this like post apocalyptic kind of situation, but it's a very unique type of post-apocalypse in that there are they call them BTs. It's sort of like two realms have clashed and now they touch, and you've got these pseudo invisible monsters that are kind of out and about, and if they show up, like they can pull you under, whatever that means. It's so bizarre. It's really hard to
Whatever that
describe.
means.
But ultimately, you're going from facility to facility, bringing these boxes, and you stack them up on your back, and you have to balance them and walk, and you put ladders up and ropes up and create ways for you to get across the land. But the great thing about it is that all of the players are connected, and so as you traverse the game, you might see somebody else's footprints, like, oh, I should go around this way, or you might see their ladder that they put up on
That's
the
so
network,
cool.
and you're like, oh, thanks for putting this ladder. So you give the ladder some likes, and that's part of your currency is likes for setting up ladders that other people can use. And on top of that, it's a super weird story.
Dude, it's so my Regal has let me play some of it on his PS5, and it was interesting. It was very surprising how you have like a baby. You know, you have that baby in like an incubator strapped to your chest
Yeah.
because it can alert you on when there's monsters nearby.
Yep.
And it's just like, how on earth did Hideo think of that?
I do not understand how that man's mind works. It's bonkers. And it's so very sci-fi, but it's also very human. It,
Mm.
it there's a ton of like story beats that it's really like ultimately about humans connecting with one another at the core of everything. And you've got this super bizarre, strange setting that still manages to accomplish that. And to bring our conversation full circle, it's because Hideo Kojima cares about telling you
Cared enough to
a
do it.
thing. He cares enough to do it. And however he packaged it, it was still a successful conveyance of ideas and story and human nature and looking out for each other. It's a 10 out of 10 for sure. I'm going to go back and finish it at some point, but it's a 10 out of 10.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss indeed. I would also love to shout out his original series that he kind of got his foothold in gaming on, and that is, of course, Metal Gear Solid. If you haven't played any Metal Gear Solid games, mega recommend all of them.
Played a little bit of
Everyone,
Phantom Pain.
that game's incomplete. It's such a sad state of affairs. That's when
Dude.
Hideo Kojima and Sony's relationship soured.
Started beefing.
So bad. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it on the podcast before, but did you ever see the footage of PT playable teaser?
Oh, not footage, but I know of it.
Yeah, so that's something that, while you can't download it now, you should definitely look up a playthrough on the internet, on the YouTubes. PT is probably the scariest thing I've ever played. It's so intense. And all it is you wandering around in this hallway, and it loops over and over, but something changes every time, and it becomes not just a little bit of a survival horror game, but like a puzzle. And then once you make it through, you get a little cutscene at the end that shows Norman Reedus going into town, and then it reveals at the end that it was a Silent Hill game entitled Silent Hills, and we never got to see it. It was pulled. The demo was pulled. It just got scrapped. And
horrible.
So Death Stranding is Hideo Kojima plus Guillermo del Toro, master monster designer, and they were both slated to do the Silent Hills game, PT. They were both on that project, and then it got shit canned because
like, there's
somebody
no shot.
There's
no shot that could ever happen.
Never again.
Really? Like that relationship is irreparable?
I think so. The world has been denied a great thing, because I know for a fact in an alternate timeline where Silent Hills came out, that game was 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. People were like, what is this? This is new. Because that's just the way Hideo Kojima's brain works. You know, he wants to do something new and interesting. and doesn't want to just sit with the status quo.
Mm. Yeah, I think I think I went on a Twitter rabbit hole on Hideo Kojima, and his dream is to make a game that's haunted.
That
Like
sounds so Kojima.
it's like he wants to like if he could, he would want to capture like a ghost in a game and then, ship it out for everybody to play.
What does that even mean?
Like I don't know what
And
that
and
means,
and
Nathan.
also make that happen, Kojima. I will play that game so much.
Yeah, like I went through a like a crazy Twitter rabbit hole on that's essentially like he's actively trying to figure out how to do that because that would be his dream.
Yeah, he's a character for sure. You know what I love about him? I feel like any studio that were to hire him to direct a game, he obviously has his own, thing with Kojima Productions. He can just do what he wants now. But if he were at a point where that wasn't a thing and the studio were to, bring him on, I feel like it would be in the best interest of the people at the top with the money to just go, how much do you need? Okay, that's fine. You can have that money. I don't care what you're about to make, just make something. And he's going to give you the ride of your life, no matter what. There's going to be some kind of unique thing that he creates that you go, well, I didn't see that coming, but I'm sure glad to be here for it.
And I love seeing like minds, that are responsible for some of the biggest things like that we use day to day, like Gabe Newell, like man, shout out Gabe.
Always.
Dude, always. Aside from Kojima, Gabe, Del Toro, what are some other names that come to mind for you, like of people in that?
Oh, say that last part again. I got a weird audio issue. Mic check.
Oh no, sorry, I was just mic
Nope.
check.
Nope. We're good. We're good. The
Awesome.
name actually, okay. So as far as weird stuff, I'm actually going to pivot back to something more traditional. But visionaries, I would call them visionaries. I think that's probably the best
Yes.
term for that type of
Yes,
person.
that's yeah.
Shigeru Miyamoto, the Mario and Zelda man.
Mm,
Shigeru Miyamoto has a vision with Mario. And, as many iterations as you've seen in Mario, um, it's always had a heart at the core of it. There's always been
yeah.
a vision of what a Mario game should be. Does it always land? No, there's definitely some misfires here and there. But you know what? Even the misfires have their core audience. Take Super Mario Sunshine. Some people consider that a misfire. Other people think it's the greatest Mario video game ever made. That's just how
You
it's
ever
going to
played
be. And it is
Paper Mario?
oh my God, Paper Mario's crazy awesome. So good.
Dude, crazy game.
Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG to a lesser extent, or maybe even to more of an extent, is what you get when you have, hey, what kind of story can we tell with Mario? Because you've got your beginnings where you're collecting stars or collecting coins or getting through stages, but then you want to tell a story in which the characters do more than just, oh, I got kidnapped again, I've got to rescue such and such princess from this baddie and stomp on some Goombas. How can we give the Goombas personality? And Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario do exactly that.
No, Paper Mario was nuts, dude.
Which one did you play?
Crazy.
Did you play the original or the 1,000 Year Door?
I played it. It was on the Wii.
That might have
So I'm
been the
not
1,000 Year
sure.
Door. I'd have to see. Let me see if Jamie can look that shit up.
Hey, shout out Jamie.
What's your favorite? Like, what's your memory? Your core memory of Paper Mario?
Oh man. I honestly remember like so long ago. But in Paper Mario, what I remember that was really interesting was like talking to the characters.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it was weird because prior to that, I had just played Super Mario Bros. So it was like me and my brother would just, do Mario levels, just like hit some blocks, kill some Goombas, ride some Yoshis, save Peach only for her to get kidnapped again. Like,
Freaking
and then so
Peach.
playing Paper Mario was weird because I remember like talking like, what? What am I playing right now? And
It's a
I
dramatic shift.
to be truthful, I don't really remember a whole lot because that was so long ago.
Sure.
But like I remember having that feeling of like, this is different. You know what I mean? Like this is not the same game that I was playing.
So it
And it
looked
was
like
definitely
you were playing Super Paper Mario,
okay.
most
Yeah,
likely.
no, I couldn't tell
Something
you.
about the Count Bleck and his minions trying to keep them from destroying the universe. But the party is Mario, Peach, Bowser, and Luigi, and they're fighting. So, like Bowser is your friend in
Yes.
those games.
Yes. And I remember just being like, this doesn't make sense.
The world is upside down. What's going on?
Like I just remember being confused.
It's such a good one. I love
But I had a
a
great time.
departure from an original formula like that, which is funny because I just was talking shit about Doom 3, even though that's a mega departure from the formula.
We called it Dark Souls 2.
Bro, okay, man. I see
Mm.
why people don't like Dark Souls 2. I get it. I hear
Like, do you
you.
understand it?
But you're wrong. For those who hate it, you're incorrect. It's good. It's very good, in fact. Better than most games, like sorry, not sorry. In the Dark Souls grand scheme of things, even the one I don't like the most, which is Dark Souls, the original, is still head and shoulders better than most video games.
Yeah, I
You
would
know,
agree.
I feel
Dark
like
Souls
there's
1,
a
man.
you need to present your players with something of a challenge. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a mechanical challenge, which Dark Souls is a mechanical challenge for sure. How good can you dodge roll? How good can you detect these windows? How good is your memorization on these move sets for these bosses? But bringing it back to Red Dead 2, I feel like Red Dead 2 challenges the player on a personal level.
It sure
I'm
does.
challenging what is your view of the world? And how does this story play out based on how you are as a person, or how you want your Arthur to be, in fact? What do you say in this situation? And it challenges them on not just like a moral and ethical level, but a fundamental who am I? So existential
Right.
level, even,
Yeah, because it's like, who do you want to be?
that's truly what great games are built from, is a challenge of some sort. And yeah, man, you can't have
Dude.
you can't have a good game without that core of some of a true understanding of what you want to accomplish in the game. You know,
You
because
know,
you can.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I might be spinning my tires or beating a dead horse, but the last thing I'll say on that is, like, you can build all of the details into the facial person, the face of the character that I'm playing as, that you want. But if your story doesn't move me, or the mechanics aren't interesting to engage with, your work was for naught.
But nothing.
Mm.
You know,
And
one thing
I'm sorry for that, but also I'm not sorry.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you did it.
Yeah, good
You
job,
did
I
it,
guess.
right? Yeah. One thing,
Well,
now that we're on
go
Red
ahead.
Dead, I do want to, because this is a unique human experience. Like this is a crazy feeling to go through in real life that Red Dead put me through, was when there's a certain moment with a character in the game where you realize that, maybe he doesn't have your best interest at heart. Maybe this person who you trusted isn't really who you really thought he was. And I don't know, but like just randomly as you were speaking, it reminded me of that moment that happens in the game with Dutch, where it's almost like literally like a light flicks, almost kind of thing, and you realize that like this is this is not a great guy, and that's such a complicated thing to go through in real life, like having like a boss or like a coworker or something like that that maybe you thought was one way but really wasn't, and to have a game produce that is insane.
Yep,
Like you know, like, pixels on a screen, and it speaks to your point and kind of what we've been talking about the whole podcast. Made me care. It made me want to know.
definitely. There's something I like about a twist. It's not necessarily a twist, I would say, but a revelation like that.
Yes, yes,
It's a revelation, and
a
if you can instill that in your
revelation.
players, and on any level, and there's a lot of oh man, talk about revelations. There's a game called Tunic, and I believe I've talked about it a little bit before, but I'm going to harp on it now. That game is built around knowledge revelations.
Mm,
Um, so Tunic, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a it's an isometric kind of three quarters camera deal. But it is a Zelda like straight up. The fox,
whoa.
you play a little tiny cute fox. He's got a sword. He's got a green tunic on. It's straight up Link. And as you go through these levels and beating these enemies, um, there is a specific set of pathways that you'll take on your first playthrough, and it's a bit grueling. It's tough. But as you progress through the game, you will come out of certain areas into areas that you've been before, and you'll immediately go, oh, this staircase has been there the whole time, and I did not need to go
Mm,
this route. I could have just gone behind this pillar and walked down the stairs, and I would have been at the location. Regal says, I love that game. Charming. Yes, it's absolutely charming. But that game, okay, so there's a term that I don't love, Metroidvania, that is very much a, get your power, use the power to move to the next area, complete that area and get a new power, repeat cycle until you beat the boss. This game is built on knowledge, and there's a term that was coined around this that I love because it turns it on its head a little bit. It's called a Metroid Brainia, wherein the progression of the game is the knowledge of the game, not necessarily what your character can do. Because when you play Tunic, there's spoilers real quick, just as a heads up. If you have not played Tunic and you don't want anything spoiled, maybe skip 10 minutes ahead on the podcast here. But when you're placed into the intro of the game, actually, I could probably dance around this a little bit. There is a yellow square on the ground that you can stand on. It's like a platform. Right out of the gate, you can do something with that square if you know what to do. But if you don't, then it means nothing to you, and you will walk right by it, or you'll play around with it and go, "Oh, this must be something for later." But in reality, it is a thing for right now. You can do the thing. And the Tunic has a really unique way of presenting that to the character, in that so the game has an instruction manual in the game, but you don't have all the pages. So the way the game presents how to play the game is through the instruction manual as you gather pages of said instruction manual. The catch is the instruction manual is in a language that you can't read, most
dang.
of it anyway. There's a lot of English words in there, so you'll be able to read this, that, or the other, and kind of like, I mean, that says health, but this blue one is in some kind of runic language, and I don't know, but I guess that might mean magic. I don't know,
Mm,
maybe. And then as you collect pages of the game, it will reveal new mechanics to you that you didn't know existed, but that you could do from the get-go right out of the gate. And on New Game Plus, whatever it is you're doing, the more you know about that game, the quicker you can bend it to your will, and it in turn will respond with great reward. There's a mechanic that in the game will basically, it's kind of cheat codes in a way. But if you know them, then you can just give yourself 10 free bombs. You can only use it once, but you can get those bombs straight up. Like that's part of the speed runs. Watching speed runs of Tunic is super duper fun because they'll get in there, they'll use their controller to control the character, but the thing they need to do, they'll use with the keyboard because they can do it faster. And so the first thing they'll do is just like, okay, I'm going to give myself 10 bombs. I'm going to give myself this. I'm going to give myself that. Okay, now I need to go over to this area. And because I know this mechanic exists, I'm going to do the thing. Oh, now I have a sword and it's early, like mega early. And then I go over here and I can use this hook to hook onto enemies in a way that I didn't know I could do until the end of the first playthrough. But now that I know that, I can traverse this game like I can crush it. And the tiny revelations throughout that game are so fun to discover. And you go, oh, I just realized something. And you get that sort of rush of excitement that you realized a thing. And then on top of that, for a bigger picture, there is the final boss called the Air. And she's very tall, very difficult. And if you just barrel through it as a normal video game and you win, it turns out that after you defeat the Air, by the way, do you want me to not spoil this?
No, dude, go. I'm locked in. Go right ahead. I'm invested.
So when you beat the Air, some bad stuff happens, and then you take her place as the new Air. You are sucked in and trapped now in this cycle. However, if you were to meet the game on the level of finishing the instruction manual, there is puzzles within the instruction manual that if you solve, there's a giant golden door at the top of this mountain, and it has a big giant marking on it. And it turns out if you know what this marking means and how to interact with it, you can open it up. So when you complete this instruction manual, that's actually how you get the final page, is opening up that door at the top. When you get this final page of the instruction manual and you make it to the final boss, instead of fighting the boss, the main character of Tunic presents this instruction manual to the Air, and she doesn't attack you at all. She reads the instruction manual and the cycle is broken. And then the credits roll showing the main character and this Air hanging out together. They're friends now. And the cycle is broken. No one has to be stuck inside this loop forever anymore. They are both free from the struggle.
That is insane.
And there was, it hit me good because it's never explicitly said, but the way that the characters are interacting is very much a mother-child type situation, or it seemed to be that way. So I kind of read a little bit into it, maybe more than I needed to, but it felt to me like this was a quest that you didn't understand, and maybe the fox didn't understand, that was trying to free his mother from a cycle that she couldn't get out of. So maybe there's even some Christian undertones, like if you have all of the knowledge in the pages in this holy book, you know, I am helping you to be free from this prison that you're in.
Yeah.
And it was
that
a really
hits different, man. That hits
dude,
different.
It's different.
It's deep.
It's such a good game. And you know, I think as a game, it challenged me on a mechanical level, but it also challenged me as a parent. It challenged me as a person, you know, how willing am I to stick with this goal versus this goal? Am I willing to stick with knowledge, or am I willing to stick with violence? Can both coexist? Kind of. But if you lean hard into one, maybe the other's not so necessary.
Yeah.
And there's so many layers that you can read into it depending on who you are. Tunic is 10 out of 10. Good. I highly recommend everybody play it, like no question. And if you skipped ahead to this point in the podcast and you didn't hear what I just said about Tunic, don't go back and listen to it. Go in blind. I went in blind. And I had a vague inkling, and I think I was listening to Giant Bomb at the time, and they were like, dude, Tunic is so good. You have to play it. If you don't know anything about Tunic, you should just go play it. And so I did, and it was so rewarding. Tunic is so good.
Man, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. I think we drilled it into the ground that if you care about what your game is trying to accomplish, what it's trying to say, and what it's trying to do, everything else kind of falls into place.
Right.
You
It's
know,
passion, right? Like, oh, if it sells well, that'll be cool. But I
take a
also
look at our
really want to make this story.
ooh, take a look at our friend Eric. Eric of
Lucid.
Lucid, the developer of Lucid.
Yes.
He clearly, very clearly loves his game
He-
and is putting something into it that is special, and it feels special and so unique. It feels unlike it. It is a Metroidvania, but it's also not. It has so many layers to it that I can't wait to sink my teeth into the rest of the game and really become mega adept as Owen, traversing this like, okay, I'm gonna go
Owen.
here.
Dude, like he cares about that game. That's his baby.
That's his baby for sure. So much
That's
so
his
that he
baby.
quit his job, his day job. He was an
He's like,
architect. Architects make money,
yes,
from what I
they
understand.
sure do.
And so he gave up that, the guaranteed paycheck, to take a chance on something that he loves. And man, I hope Lucid takes off like mad crazy.
Man.
I hope it sells 1 million copies.
Dude, great game. I'll buy it for sure.
100%. We'll stream it live when it comes out. And I stay in touch with him from time to time on Twitter. And I think he pops into the podcast every now and then as well. So Eric, if you're listening, keep going, buddy. Can't wait to see the final product.
We're excited.
All right, man. I think we're actually getting close to the end of the night here. Man, great conversation, John. That one flowed really nicely out of, and you know what? You know what kicked it all off? The Half-Life.
Half-Life.
Half-Life started it all, turns out.
Hey, shout out Gabe.
Not only is he doing great things in the game space as far as like a digital marketplace goes, which haters, I hear you. I don't care.
Yeah.
He was also doing great things back in 1995, 1997,
Yeah.
1998.
Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get him on the pod soon. It'll we'll
I've been
talk
calling
all
his
about it.
agent.
Yeah. We'll get him here.
Well, that is going to be the end of our show tonight, guys. Regal, Hollow, thank you so much for being in chat. And everybody else listening out there and lurking, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much if you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're at. I love you. John loves you. We love you. Devin, we're speaking for him. He loves you too. We appreciate every one of you guys out there. Real quick, I just want to remind you that you're awesome, you're loved, and what you do matters. And also, I want to say, call your mom, call your dad, call your family, call your friends. Tell them that you love them, because life is too damn short. So I'm going to put up a heart for you guys. I believe John is about to do the same thing. Kaboom. Thank you so much.
Heart.
We'll see you next week at 9:30. Bye.
Umbrella fight.